Hey winners, Kevin Ward here with Yes Masters Real Estate Success Training, helping real estate agents get more yeses and more successes in your business and in your life. And I had a great question on a webcast today from an agent that said, how do I go about finding turbo leads? Now, first of all, for those of you that do not know what a turbo lead is, here's what a turbo lead is. A turbo lead is someone who has expressed either passively or actively expressed a need or a desire to sell real estate. Okay? And so, for example, there are four categories of what I call turbo leads. And the reason I call them turbo leads is because they've expressed a need or desire to sell their house, which means if you talk to 100 of these people, as opposed to talking to 100 people at random, if you just talk to 100 people in a neighborhood, you're going to get a lot less immediate business from 100 random people than you are if you talk to 100 of these people. Because these are people who have expressed, again, a need or a desire to sell their house. So if you want to turbocharge your business, in other words, if you want to find business and make money fast, turbo leads will turbocharge your business. They're immediate sources of immediate business. That's why they're called turbo. That's why I call them turbo leads, okay? So there are four groups. The first is your expired listings. Expired and canceled listings is the first category of turbo leads. I love them. They're the best. Here's why. They're easy to find. They're always ongoing. How do you find them? Well, you find them on the MLS. You can run a report that pulls up all the in your market area as of this date, all the canceled and expired listings, and just pull a report. That's how you find them. Now the second question is, once I find them, how do I find their contact information? And that's a different question, and that is, where do I find their phone number? If they're an absentee owner, how do I locate where they actually live, and so forth? And there are services that you can subscribe to that actually provide that information. And I'm going to go through those services here in a minute once I kind of lay out what the four different categories of turbo leads are and how you find them. Second are the for sale by owners. Now, how do you find for sale by owners? Again, a great source of business. You can find them online, Craigslist, forsalebyowner.com, FSBO.com, through the classified ads of the newspapers, in your local newspaper. You can find for sale by owners. You can drive around and see the signs in the yard for sale by owner. That's how you find them. Now that's the slow way. That's the do-it-yourself way. Okay, you can also subscribe to services that do all that work for you, and then every day they just send you a list of all the brand new for sale by owners that have come on the market in your area. So that's for sale by owners. Then there's probates. Now probate real estate is whenever somebody passes away and their real estate that they own becomes a part of their estate. And more often than not, in fact, like 70 to 80% of the time, that real estate is going to be sold within 12 months. And so whenever somebody passes away, if you get in touch with, if you find the heirs or the beneficiaries or the executors, the personal representatives who are handling the estate, then there's a great opportunity to be able to list and sell that real estate. Distressed sellers. Distressed homeowners, people that have had notice of defaults filed, notice of trustee sales, foreclosure sales, or sheriff sales filed in their home. They're in distress. Financially, they probably need to sell their house. Now, it can also be because of any life situation that causes financial distress or a need to sell real estate. For example, another very common one is divorce. It's unfortunate, but a lot of times when people are going through a divorce, they're selling the home. They're selling the real estate. Okay, so when you find them, it's a great source of business. Now, how do you find them? Probates are a matter of public record. So whenever somebody passes away, someone goes, typically an executor or an heir, one of the beneficiaries, will go to the courthouse and they'll file what's called a petition for probate. And that petition is public record. So you can literally go to the courthouse and ask for where are the petitions for probate. And you can literally go in there and find all those records, and you can write down every petition for probate. It's got the contact information, the mailing address for every beneficiary, for the petitioner, for the executor, executrix, or executors if there's more than one, or the personal representative if it's appointed by the court. It's going to have their contact information. It'll also have the contact information for the attorney. Now with the attorney, it'll probably have an email address and a lot of times a phone number. With the other parties, it's going to always have a mailing address. It may or may not have phone numbers and stuff like that. That's a little less common. Now this is the way it is in the United States. I think in Canada it's very similar. Other countries I'm not so sure about. But pretty much probate law is pretty standard, is my understanding. Again, there are services that can provide that stuff for you. Distress sales is also a matter of public record. It goes on the tax record. When a notice of default is filed, that's filed with the courthouse. So it's a public record. You can go to the courthouse, but a lot of times you can go onto the tax records online in most counties across the United States. And I don't know about Canada, but in most areas you can go online and find those. Now, even better is hire a service that you subscribe to provide these things for you. Now, there are some subscription services that provide all those, and depending on what geographic area, state you're in, or area you're in, if there's that kind of service. But here's some of the main services for some of these. The Red X is the original expired service, theredx.com. They also now do expireds and for sale by owners. Land Voice was the original for sale by owner company that they provided real estate agents for sale by owner data. Okay, they now do expireds and for sale by owners as well. There's a company called archtelecom.com or archagent.com. They also provide these bundles. Let's see, there's other companies. I think there's a company, Lead Senders, I think. I've never used them, not familiar with them. REAP007, REAP007.com. I know they do California expireds and maybe for sale by owners. I think they now do for sale by owners. And you can get these subscriptions for typically less than $100 a month. They're going to save you a ton of time and get you great data. Now, there's a lot. They're pulling phone numbers from all the sources they get them from. There's going to be disconnected numbers, wrong numbers. It's just part of the game. If you spend all your time trying to compare one over the other of which gives you the better data, honestly, they're all pulling from the same sources. I've not seen any definitive difference in them, and they're both that all of these companies are constantly evolving, growing, getting better sources of data. It's tougher to get data sometimes, but they're doing their best. And so forth. The key is that if you're using it, that you're calling these people or reaching out to these people, that you're connecting with these people either by phone, mail, or door. Door's the best, but it's the least time efficient. Phone is the best time efficiency. It's better than mailing. Mailing is your least effective, your least efficient. Okay, probates. Matter of public record, as I mentioned. You can also, there's two sources you can go to for this also besides the courthouse. You can also build relationships with probate attorneys, which is awesome. Build relationships with them and they bring you business. So that's a great deal. There's also a service called, I think it's called probatedata.com. MTI Education does this. A friend of mine named Mike Torres out of Long Beach, California, has done this. Started in California, started in LA County, and then expanded, and now is all over California. I think he's in Arizona and several other states. That they do this for you and you subscribe to it. They also have probate training, and then you subscribe to it, and they actually go to the courthouse. He has staff, they have teams that go to the courthouses and pull this stuff off, and then they basically let you subscribe to that service for a monthly fee. Great time saver, and probate is a huge largely untapped niche for real estate agents, in my opinion. I think it's a great source of business, and it's never going to go away. It's not based on the economy. It's not based on the housing market. It's based on the fact that people pass away and their real estate gets sold. That's just the reality. Distressed sellers. There's companies like Foreclosure Radar and Realty Track are the two that I'm most familiar with that will do this. And again, some of these, there's another company that does all of these. And I know they're in California. I'm not sure if they're in other states yet or how far they go, but their company's called Rebo Gateway, rebogateway.com, and they provide all of these. Now, look, check them all out, look at them. The key is if you subscribe to one of them, they're a great value if you actually use the data and contact these people and go after the business. Turbo leads only work if you talk to them. This is a talk to the people business. You got to connect and you got to find how you can help them and then help them. But here's the key. The opportunity is out there. It's huge. Go for it. Engage the opportunity, play to win, and always expect yes.